Dragon Ball Super Superheroes release overseas has brought with it a new wave of hype and buzz that's been a while since the Dragon Ball fandom has been exposed to. Both Piccolo and Gohan have gone through some truly extraordinary growth and attained powers that were somewhat inconceivable in the context of where they were at the start of the film. But the one that of course takes precedence over all other topics, Gohan's new form, aka Final Gohan. Take a look at this new form and try to understand where exactly it stands in the power hierarchy. For starters, let's go over how Gohan's potential even works. Ever since the battle against Cell, it's been pretty self-explanatory that Gohan as a Saiyan is built kinda different. Through intense concentration and composed rage, he left both Goku and Vegeta behind and overcame Perfect Cell. This movie rhymes a little with the Cell saga, and while Goku and Vegeta aren't physically there for the most part, the implication that Gohan may have once again surpassed these two is still there. But since they weren't there, we as the audience are ambiguously told about this implication instead of seeing it happen in actuality. This allows for the benefit of the doubt and hints that this may not be literal in the first place. Another aspect that gives Gohan an edge in fights is the potential unleashed, a legendary state which is only accessible through the old Kai's unlocked effect ability. It's pretty much just a state that allows one to use their latent power. Or like in other words, Gohan on some crazy lethal steroids but without any side effects. The result ends up being Ultimate Gohan. A form which was initially conceived to be Gohan's peak, but deep down we all wondered if it really was Gohan's ultimate state. Because if that was the case, then it would negate the idea of training and growth, right? Since Gohan has theoretically already reached his peak, see where I'm kinda going with this? Now let's reference his new form and see it for what it is actually. We're talking about Final Gohan, an unparalleled level of strength that Gohan was able to attain through sheer rage. It sprouted from Ultimate Gohan and took his peak to another level. So if we want to make kind of a comparison here, let's begin to look at it this way. Goku has unwavering faith in Gohan during the Cell saga. It might have just been his intuition, but Goku knew that Gohan has the thing that they really needed to overcome Cell. He'll be the one who will evolve the Super Saiyan form and take it to the next level, which, by the way, was supposed to be the literal peak of a Saiyan at that time. There were no records whatsoever of any other Saiyan ever surpassing the legendary Super Saiyan form, so anything beyond that was supposed to be kinda headcanon, I guess they would say. Yet Goku had firm faith in his intuition that Gohan would be able to be the one to harness this and bring out the next level of this legendary power. The result, as we all know, ended up being the Super Saiyan 2 form. It momentarily slipped out during their training in the hyperbolic time chamber, but by the tail end of the battle against Perfect Cell, Gohan had managed to completely master and perfect and control this state. This inadvertently created what's known as the Roger Bannister effect and allowed others to later undergo the same kind of evolution as well. So while Goku's Super Saiyan form continues to remain the most iconic transformation in anime history, Gohan's legendary breakthrough and what it did to the narrative is the reason why the majority of fans hold it kind of in a similar light, if not preferred over the Super Saiyan form. Then there is this movie, and weave ourselves a few plot points that rhyme with the Cell saga here. We have Piccolo, who appears to be concerned that Gohan might have been way too lax recently and how he ought to get out of those books and move around a little bit. It's obvious that Piccolo is concerned because he's lived long enough to know extreme danger can indeed befall them at any moment and they might not be ready for it. Gohan does understand his concerns and would train, but when you have people like Goku and Vegeta around who can pretty much take care of everything, it's hard to be that serious. This takes us back to Goku's legendary statement, power comes in response to a need, not a desire. This is especially true for Saiyans because while they may consistently train themselves to the bone, it isn't until the defining moment that they experience insurmountable growth. Suffice to say, it's not all black and white, of course. Piccolo is obviously in the right for being cautious, but Gohan isn't necessarily in the wrong for focusing on what he currently deems more necessary. However, as the movie progresses and the life of his daughter Pan seems to be at stake, you bet Gohan has zero thoughts related to how Goku and Vegeta would come and save them, hopefully. In the movie, the antagonists appear to be Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, who at first glance don't look all that threatening. They are indeed really strong though. The Red Ribbon Army made sure to follow the manga, and that's why. Despite their laid-back appearances, they are strong enough to pose a major threat in this movie. And yet, just like the case with the Cell saga, the androids weren't the biggest threat. It was Cell. Well, here we have Cell's successor, and this is another major spoiler, but we've been doing spoilers all weekend, guys. Cell Max. And just like Cell, he is portrayed to be capable of handling pretty much everyone on the scene all by himself. Be it Gohan, Piccolo in his new orange form, Trunks and Goten are even there, even Android 18 and Krillin. Not to mention Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, who were already a threat to begin with, also joining forces with the Z-Fighter. It was the combined effort of all of these individuals, four of whom actually fought in the Tournament of Power against the mightiest warriors from other universes, and yet it still wasn't enough to take Cell Max down. If we're talking about sheer power and strength, Cell Max is exponentially stronger, though unlike Cell, who maintained a serene attitude for most of the Cell games, Cell Max is basically a wild beast set on destroying anything and everyone, and this is what I like to call the Bio Broly effect, if you guys know what I'm talking about. He also appears to be pretty constipated most of the time. In terms of narrative substance, it's nowhere near as climactic and impactful as the legendary Super Saiyan 2 transformation, but the same kind of progression happens once again. That's right, Final Gohan is a natural progression to the ultimate Gohan form and is meant to elevate his latent potential even more. Maybe it's an indication that even if Ultimate Gohan was able to bring out all of Gohan's latent potential, there's always a deeper layer, another level, I guess, which is especially true for Saiyans. Though in terms of visual effects, we have a bit of something else going on here. Gohan's eyes turn red and his hair turns gray. We don't have to look into it too much, as the prospect of Gohan having a grayish aura in his mystic form was kinda always there. Now the real question, however, is just where does Gohan stand in the Dragon Ball Super hierarchy? Because there were some really interesting statements in this movie. This is an important one because after Gohan completely and utterly overwhelms Cell Max with his new form, and just absolutely destroys him while Orange Piccolo was holding him back, there was a pretty interesting conversation that happened. Needless to say though, from the moment Gohan's new form emerged, it was no longer a fight between strong individuals. It was basically just Gohan and Piccolo bullying Cell Max. Thinking rationally, this guy would have easily got destroyed by Goku or Vegeta as well, right? Well, apparently we would be wrong for thinking that. Gohan mentions to Piccolo how even if Goku and Vegeta were here, they may not have been able to defeat Cell Max. So he was right about him having to train himself. Now first, we have to see what the statement implied in the context of this story arc rather than taking it literally right offhand. Piccolo was upset. He wanted Gohan to continue training as there's no telling when they might need his strength, and he was right because they did end up facing a genuine threat shortly after. So at the end of the battle, Gohan acknowledged that Piccolo was right about how he shouldn't be so laid back, but let's say that maybe Gohan's adrenaline or something along those lines made him make that statement about Goku and Vegeta. I know that's a stretch, but this is Goku and Vegeta after Moro and Granola. Let's also note that this statement isn't necessarily the same as him saying to Pan that he might have surpassed his father. Rather, I personally feel like seeing as when this movie takes place is meant to try and portray Cell Max as a greater threat than, Broly or Moro or things like that, which I, again, personally don't think he is, but this is what is being stated in the movie, because Cell Max is kind of just like a premature monster set on destroying things. The way I personally see it, this does allow for some major character growth though, because the very idea that all Gohan's forms have been named Ultimate or, Final implies that he sees them as the absolute summit of what his potential allows him to do. This pretty much just outright negates the idea that a Saiyan is always on an upward ladder towards better and greater heights. Unlike Gohan, Goku and Vegeta continuously and persistently keep reaching new heights. Even if we were to take Gohan's hyperbolic statement literally, Goku and Vegeta can and will surpass him soon enough. At best, it is in the same tier as maybe Ultra Ego or Ultra Instinct, I would say. However, unlike those forms, we have yet to see Gohan do anything genuinely staggering with this one besides one-shotting Cell Max. I don't know, let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments. It won't be until he goes up against an opponent of the same level that we can truly see what Gohan is currently capable of. But I will say I could be wrong. If they're trying to imply to us that Cell Max is stronger than Moro with angel powers absorbed, and Final Gohan did that to him, then they got it. Like, Gohan is broken. But as far as the manga goes right now though, guys, right now in this current point in time, these boys still haven't seen Ultra Ego, so I gotta remain 10 toes down on that one. But let me know if you genuinely feel that this means that Gohan has surpassed Goku and Vegeta. Don't forget to drop a like on the video and be sure to subscribe to never miss more Dragon Ball content like this. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.